What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe, your host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe Show, the home of Epic Conversations, and I am the host of Epic Conversations 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner, 2018 Innovation Award winner, headed up by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. And I got to give a big shout out to the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. They just posted an interview with me in their Voices of Canada series, so I'm very humbled to be part of that. So that is fantastic. Continuing on, I also host the only online show in the world for fathers and dads that is sponsored by Delftman Care. It's also co-sponsored by Dad Central Canada's National Father Organization, and I am the board chair for the Global Food and Drink Initiative. It's a multimedia not-for-profit that's based in Oakland, California, that showcases Blacks in the diaspora that are doing their things in media, in food, wine, and travel. Food, wine, and travel. That's what they do their stuff in media, because the media man is to my other side. He's starting to become the king of media in Canada. So, Ryan Knight, what's going on?
Are you trying to say I'm gonna bump Brandon Golness? Listen,
I don't think he's the king of media.
Well, I thought he has a pretty strong platform. I'd give him some props. But for those,
you know what? I have different ways of measuring. I just put that term out there for joking. I don't think that's a whole other conversation. I think we need to do a conversation about Black Canadian media. That's a whole different conversation.
Absolutely, yes.
Since you are trying to rile everybody up and do this thing with your government.
Hey, I'll touch on that. Hold on. Well, for those that don't know me, my name is Ryan Knight, and I'm one of the co-founders of the Afro-Caribbean Business Network. So we work with entrepreneurs of African or Caribbean heritage, really to help them scale up their companies. So figuring out what stage you're in today, and then helping to create a blueprint to grow the company. We build it together and hold you accountable. And I'm also an entrepreneur. I run a social enterprise called Detail Ignites. So we're in peak season right now. If you have a dirty car, we come to your house and clean it without using water and using plant-based cleaning products. And also, if you have a student or if you have a child that is in high school or college that is looking for work, please send them my way. We are still hiring. We have about 6 spots left. Because it's getting busy, we actually have to bring on more people.
Whoa,
so if they are looking for work,
what a challenge! Everything
send them over.
All roads lead to Ryan. We had his wife on. He needs more people. He's organizing people and trying to get everyone for this, that. Are you running for prime minister or something, or like?
Somebody sent me a message about that, and I didn't get the joke. I was like, run for prime minister? They don't need me in there. What we need is us to create our own country. But that's a conversation for another day. Instead, we should be taking advantage of all of these opportunities that they're putting out there. So I did a big call out on LinkedIn. I know Dr. Vibe, you saw it because I tagged you in it.
Yes, I don't know why.
Oh, I know why.
Why?
Because it's time for us to rally around something specific. And I feel like there's a grant right now that Minister Ng announced that the applications are out there. Canada is going back into their rebuilding mode. So money is flowing to make sure that businesses allegedly, but the call out wasn't specifically for Black businesses. So remember this: they treat the Black community different than they treat just the general public. So we need to open up and position ourselves in front of the flow of money that goes just out to the public. So they want to see people support businesses getting online and introducing technology. And if you read the application closely, you'll see that Digital Main Street pretty much did this exact program earlier. So now we need to form an entity, not an organization, but a coalition of Black entities that can execute the exact same thing. And I feel if we can't rally around this type of project, then this is going to show the true character of the Black organizations. And again, so there's a secret around this application that if you come to the meeting on Wednesday, July 28th, I will reveal the secret, because this grant itself, there's a specific reason why I want everybody to rally around this grant. And so please, if you know somebody that runs an organization, or if you know anybody that just feels they should be part of a coalition of Black organizations, send them to this meeting, because this grant specifically is up to $45 million, and we can curate our organizations around it and apply together. And together is the key thing. And I know there's going to be some people that'll show up to the meeting and be like, nah, I don't deal with them. I don't rock with them. I don't even like Ryan. I actually don't know how I got to this meeting. We have to be able to throw all that out the window, because this is a huge opportunity. And that's why I'm actually excited about the guest that we have on today, because these types of things that are happening in our community should be fully funded, fully resourced. And I think we have the blueprint to get that done.
Well, there is Ryan's promo for today. Yes. It is done. So let's get into our guests, because Ryan could promo all show long. So let's get some people on here. So today we, as Ryan mentioned, we have a special guest. And let me give a little background first. This weekend starts Afrofest 2021 in the Greater Toronto Area, and it's in its 33rd year. It's the largest African musical festival in North America, as well as the best destination to experience African culture in Toronto or all of Canada. And for the first time ever, this festival will feature a drive-in edition, a 2-night live music experience happening in the Guildwood GO Station, which is in Scarborough. I can call it Scarborough. Other people call it Scarborough, but I've been in Scarborough. That's happening on tomorrow night, July 17th and July 18th, including performers Imah, Steele, Donnie Roberts, Slimfex, DJ Shat. There'll be food vendors there offering culinary delights from Africa and the diaspora. And then also Afrofest Online returns for its second year, starting today till July 25th. It's a free virtual show featuring over 25 artists representing 20 African countries and countries of the diaspora. So this is going to be debuting this year virtually, is a dialogue about the interdependence between India and East Africa during the COVID-19 pandemic. And also new this year, there are prizes and accolades for the best overall performer, $1,000 Canadian, Community Shield Awards for individuals making a profound impact on the African and diaspora communities. But what we have is we have the main man, Peter Toh, Artistic Director, is with us today. I know he's got lots of things going on today. We're going to bring him on. Good morning, Peter. How are you?
Good morning, Dr. Vibe. Good morning, Ryan.
Yes, good to see you.
Good to see you. How you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Good. So what's been going on over the last few days?
Well, the last few days have been very, very hectic, leading up to any major event. You know how it is. Making sure that everything is right can be tasking, but also rewarding.
Wonderful. Let me ask, let's get a little background about you. Where are you from? How did you get involved with Afrofest? And then also give us some background about Afrofest, if you could.
Yes. So myself, Cameroonian, came to Toronto in 2007, and when I got here, I was at a job, and somebody said, "Hey, have you been to Afrofest?" It was happening that same weekend. I had never ever heard of Afrofest. That was my first year. So I went to the event, and I had a good time. 2008, I don't know what happened. I never really heard of the event, and it's then that I thought to myself, well, if I could go 1 year without hearing about the event, then maybe I could help promote the event within my circle, because there are other people who may have wanted to go and did not know. So I contacted Music Africa at the time, and began volunteering. One thing led to the next. You put in so much energy, they give the energy back. There was a spot for artistic director. I took it up, and the more I did, the more I had to do.
I like
And yes, so fast forward 2013, I became president of the organization. 2016, I became the artistic director and the executive director of the organization. So we've always, through the work, more work has been done, and the organization has kept on growing, which I'm very appreciative of.
Take it back. What do you remember your first memory of Afrofest? Do you remember?
Actually, it's interesting because when I thought of being part of Afrofest, I thought of joining as a DJ. I just wanted to DJ for the organization, be on stage, because I was when I was coming up, I was a DJ. So I thought, okay, maybe I could join Music Africa and DJ. But then the spot was taken. There was already somebody who did the job, and my first memory was me. There was a Madagascar performer on stage, and just three guys. They presented a very, very solid performance. I thought it was the whole full orchestra, and that it stood with me, because even right now, when I'm looking at groups to perform, I no longer ask, why are you only three people? Because I know the size of the group doesn't matter. It depends on what matters is what you can deliver when you get on stage.
So true. And for my question, since that first experience got you hooked, this year and this weekend will be my first experience. And so I've been missing out. So what, for those that haven't been to Afrofest, why should they be there, and why should I be now? No, don't chastise me, actually. So I was gonna say, why should you chastise a person that hasn't been? But skip me. But why should a person show up this weekend?
Well, I'll tell you something before I answer your question. And maybe it's something that we're going to get into later on, but I'll just bring, just to mention it a bit. In 2016, we had a slight issue with the city of Toronto. And one of the city councillors came to Afrofest. And after seeing the elaborate operation, he made mention to me personally that he had not really heard about this event, and he never knew this is how big it was. You see, and when he told me this, on the one hand, one could ask, but this is the largest African event in Canada. It's virtually in North America. We bring together over 100,000 people. How can you tell me as a city councillor in Toronto that you don't know this event? But my perspective was, if you don't know about this event, it means we as an organization, we have not done enough to impress the importance of our event to you. We have not brought the event to your corridor. So how and what can we do to make sure that people like you understand that we're here, identify our importance, and also help become ambassadors of the organization? So when you say you've not heard about the organization, don't feel bad about it. Now you've heard about it. Now it is now left on us to make sure that we have a solid presentation, that you get hooked just the same way as I got hooked.
I hear that. Yes.
Yes.
So I want to go back, because last year was a challenging year for almost everybody. So how did you adapt last year?
Yeah, the challenging part about doing a virtual event, especially during a pandemic, is the moving parts. You know, when you have an event that you've done for so long, you can virtually, it's plug and play. It is elaborate, but you know exactly what you're going to do. You know the exact outcome. But last year, considering that it was a pandemic, and every 2 weeks the rules would change. Sometimes they'll say, okay, social distancing. Sometimes they'll say, no, you cannot open up, you cannot do this. So with all the changing rules, people, artists specifically, some of them, they get tired, they get discouraged. They're not producing, they're not in the studio as much. So as an organization, we now had to ask ourselves, how do we motivate the artists that when they come out, they can present a solid enough show worthy of Afrofest? Like, what can we do to make sure that our community, even though there's nothing going on, our community is constantly being engaged with elements of our own culture? So these are all challenges that we had. And thirdly, it gave us an opportunity to take a step back, because it's always busy. There's something we're doing, but now everything was on pause. So we could engage with the community, ask questions. Hey, you've not heard about Afrofest, or you've heard about Afrofest. What do you think about the organization? What are we doing that we should not be doing? And what can we improve on? So that break gave us the opportunity to ask these questions and have a different look to Afrofest. So when we open up, the organization is going to be completely different and better than what it was going into the pandemic.
I want to, before we go to break, what did you learn about Afro last year after doing Afrofest virtually? What did you learn about Afrofest, and what did you learn about yourself?
Well, about myself personally is resilience and the ability to adapt. I've learned that sometimes it's good to be confident about the work that you're able to do, and it just helps people around you be confident. Because the way I look at it sometimes is, if there is an issue when you're presenting an event, when you come by and you're able to solve any problem that is presented to you, irrespective of what it is, if somebody's looking for a solution, you have it. It makes people to gravitate towards you. It makes people to understand that there is a calmness to whatever you're doing. And that's what I appreciate, that my community has given me this role, and I appreciate that I can do this for the community.
I love how much you use the word community. Yeah, it seems to be one of your
even though that's kryptonite to Dr. Vibe.
It's not.
He says we don't have no community yet. So
it's not. It's
when we come back
right type of community. Some people I
would love to hear the definition from Peter of community to convince.
So
Dr.
what we're gonna do? We're gonna hold on that. We're gonna take a little quick break, and then we'll talk about community. And how important community is to the success of Afrofest, what's coming up with this year's Afrofest. I already have a question in the chat about whether it's going to be hosted online or in person this year. We'll answer that on the other side of the break. So right now you are watching The Morning Vibe live on July 16th with myself, Ryan Knight, and Peter Toh of Afrofest. Love everyone who is watching live. If you have any comments or questions, please put them in the chat, and we'll be back in just a moment. What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here, and it is Black Canada Talking time. Black Canada Talking is a live online event that provides Black Canadians the opportunity to give their takes on stories, POVs that are of importance to them, or we showcase Black Canadians are doing their thing.
The real aspect of what goes on behind the walls or behind the fence is a totally different persona and a totally different picture.
There was just a big sense of relief when we finally got there.
We have to realize that everything we do is going to have an impact on probably a lot of people we don't even know.
One of the mandates of the CBC is to reflect Canada back to itself.
Not a lot of sustainable long-term movement that will affect economic change.
God bless, peace well, keep the faith, and walk good. So there we go. Black Canada Talking on Sunday afternoons, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, where we showcase Black Canadians right across this country. And tune it in. It's been going on since August. Where you been?
Yes. Showcasing the Black community. Love it.
You see? Got you. I got your back. I got your back. So let's get back at it. So let's get into what's going on for this year. And hey, we got a number of people. Hey, shout out to Roger Dundas.
Yes, sir.
iBlacks.com, Convo Media. Also, big shout out to Wendy from Convo Media. Thanks for putting this epic conversation together. So let's get to the first question. We have a question from Christopher. Will Afrofest be hosted online or in person this year?
So both. Starting today, we're going to have an online show, and it's going to be on YouTube. So just subscribe to our channel at Afrofest. So today it's going to be virtual. Tomorrow, that's the 18th, the 17th, and the 18th, it's going to be in a drive-in edition. So you can go to Guildwood GO Station, their parking lot. We have 4 artists performing: Imah from Senegal, Steel from Jamaica, Slim Flex from Ghana, and Donne Roberts from Madagascar. So we have that. And then on the 19th, we come back to the virtual edition of the version of the festival, from the 19th up until the 25th. So we have both sides going.
So again, I'm a person, logistics. How much work to put on a hybrid event? Because I think you're probably one of the first organizations I know in Canada that's doing a hybrid event. What sort of opportunities, and how long ago did you decide that you're going to do a hybrid? Because again, as you said, with the changing environment, you didn't know social distancing, etc. When did you make that decision, and how has it been to put on a hybrid event?
Well, I personally, and at Music Africa as an organization, will not take credit for everything that is happening with us. And that is the importance, in my perspective, of having partners who you've worked with in the past that trust the work that you're able to do. Because this opportunity was brought to us by the Beaches Jazz Festival. They said, hey, we have a parking lot here. You can work with us and present.
Okay, hold. I just want to interrupt. Have you had a relationship with them before?
Yes, we have a relationship with them.
So here's a key thing, people: relationships.
Yes.
Relationships. Go on.
True.
Yes. So they contacted us, and in working with them, since even when we moved from Queen's Park to Woodbine Park, the Beaches Jazz Festival, Woodbine Park is their base. So they held our hand, directing us on how best to navigate the politics, how best to navigate the park, to make sure that we had a smooth transition. And over the years, we've had that good relationship. So when this opportunity came up, they said, okay, look, this is what we're doing. You can work with us. We're going to do this. We're going to do this to make the life a lot easier for you. So the guys there are amazing. And it's important, in my perspective. Yes, they may not be African organizations, but we have to make a solid impression to all the other cultures that we interact with, so that when they meet some other person or some other organization of our own demographic, they will treat them favorably based on the way we've treated them, or based on the way they've interacted with us. So it's we pride ourselves in trying to make sure that all our relationships are clean, that we have that we present ourselves positively and as hardworking and strong folk, so that every other person that works with any other organization that we have worked with has an easier job.
And that's so beautiful to hear. But to now jump back to the conversation around community that we were talking about just before we went to break. So yes, that relationship was really important. And I love what you said around it. Really ties to your character and the entire event's character, building that relationship. They trust what you guys do and they're able to offer you opportunities. Now, when you come back to the Black community, how has it been building up that relationship? Do you feel that the different organizations in the community has supported Afrofest to the level that you're comfortable with, or what do you feel is missing? And I don't want to say who should be at the table, but if you want to call out ACBN because we haven't been there, I'm willing to take that.
Call out Ryan. Call out Ryan.
Well, you see, this is I'll give you my perspective. You see, I think it's a bit my outlook is a bit different from most. Say within the Black community, I've already made up my mind that as many Black organizations and as many Black people that I will work with, I will work with, irrespective of whether I get burned 10 times, the 11th time, if there's a Black person on the line, I will still look for that person. So now that I've made up my mind to do it this way, it becomes a whole lot easier to work because it's no longer a choice. You know, you see, I think a lot of times we have all these options and we start looking at the flaws within our own community. And when somebody makes a small mistake, we say, because you've done this, you're XYZ, you're not a good organization, we cannot work with you. But in my perspective, irrespective of what happens, I take away all the flaws and I try to look at the positive. And if it doesn't work with one person, okay, it is that person, it is not that group of people, it is not that community. And I move on to the next Black individual. So it is, I'm proud of, and as you say, community. We are a community. Just the fact that we are, in my perspective, we are Black, that's the Black community. You may not agree with everything that your community does, but you are part of that community by the way you look. You may not agree with them, you may not identify with their ideals, but you are still part of that community. And being part of that community, I feel that it is, as the leader of Music Africa, I feel it is my role to make sure that as best as I can, I bring us together. Whether it be on a small scale or a larger scale, we do our best to bring us together and enjoy the benefits that our community has got to offer.
I'm going to jump 100%. Back in here. I want to shout out special lady Cher Jones. Very humbled to have you watching this, Cher, and going to big a shout out to her. Anyone who wants to have good thought process in the world of social media, especially LinkedIn.
Especially LinkedIn. I'm a fan. Learned a lot from Cher.
You don't need to go any further.
Yes.
Cher Jones. Enough said. You don't need to go any further. So Cher, thank you so much for jumping in. And we still haven't got you on the Dr. Vibe platform yet.
Okay, I said
yes. Yes, so it's coming. So definitely thanks for stopping by. Christopher Lawrence is saying well said to what you just shared, Peter and Cher. Yes, no problem. The pleasure is mine. Actually, I remember one of the first events I had in my journey was with Cher Jones back at Pod Camp, back at Ryerson. I wonder if Cher remembers that. There we go. So, yeah, this goes back. So, Peter, what are some things people should be looking forward to over the next few days with your great event?
Well, thank you. So, with Afrofest this year, I would first of all appreciate that people walk into the event with an open mind. And the reason why this is very important is because Africa as a continent has got 55 countries. And there's a tendency for somebody from North Africa to say, look, today we have only Southern African acts or West African acts. It is not part of my own side of the continent, so I'm not going to pay attention to it. Or somebody from the diaspora will say, look, today there's nothing from the diaspora, so I'm not going to be engaged with it. Let's go into the weekend with an open mind to learn a bit of different cultures and to see how different cultures present their art. That's one. The other thing is that it is virtual. There's part of it is virtual and part of it is drive-in. It's different from what we're normally used to. So just enjoy the show. We've put in quite a bit of work to make sure that it is as entertaining as possible. Enjoy the show. And I very much believe that if you're going with an open mind to enjoy the show, everything will be okay.
Wow. And Christopher is asking, how long has Afrofest been running for now?
First Afrofest was done in 1989, so this is our 33rd year. Yes.
Wow. And how long have you been involved in the event now? How many years?
I joined Music Africa 2009.
Wow.
Yes.
Solid.
Wow.
So, and the interesting thing that what I've learned is with most of our community organizations, the more you do, the more you are asked to do.
Yeah.
And my dad, growing up, my dad always said, if you have a job to do, give it to a busy man. And his mentality was, a busy man likes to be busy, so he will find a way to get busy and do what you've told him to do. A lazy person doesn't have time for himself, so he will not have time for you or time for your work. And so if you're part of an organization and you keep working, you will always find work. And the more you find work, the more you advance.
So Cher is saying, I think everyone should go to Afrofest just because it's going to be different.
Thank you.
Go.
That's right.
That kind of leads to my next question of where do you see Afrofest going? Like, I know you got a lot on your plate happening like right now and tomorrow, but that trajectory, where do you want to see Afrofest get to, or what's the vision for it?
So I'm glad you've asked this question because last year, after the murder of George Floyd, we as an organization took a step back because we've presented African culture here in Toronto for the past 33 years, and our focus has been culture. Meanwhile, we understand the value and the strength of our platform, and we ask ourselves, why haven't we done more in the fight against anti-Black racism?
Okay, right.
So this is something that we are going to do more actively. We're also trying to make sure that, yes, we have Afrofest here in Toronto, but we understand that Toronto is diverse. So the racial problems that we have, even though existent, are not as intense as there are other smaller communities that you may get into a town and you have got 2 or 3 Black people, you know, or and they need help from organizations like ours to just give them a small boost so that they can get some kind of recognition. Yes. So one of the things that we're trying to do is identify some of these communities and think of doing something even on a very small scale, so that even though they are not in Toronto, they don't always have to come here. They feel appreciated in their own small community. And if we do that, even though they're far away, the other demographics will understand that they are part of a bigger picture, and they within that community will get recognition. So it is the smaller things within the broader Black community and the broader African community that we're trying to get into, so that we all get recognition and get some advancement in Canada.
Love that.
How has the audience changed, if any, since you've been involved? Or has the audience been basically the same, or do you see the demographic change over the years?
Well, that's a very interesting question. And there's a right answer to it, there's a political answer to it, and there is the truth. So I don't So right now I'm kind of in between myself, you know, which one should I give you? But I'll just to be as, if I can cut it in the middle. When I joined Music Africa, as great as the event was, and I'll give props to gentlemen like Michael Stoll, to Nadine McNulty, who currently runs Batuki Music, and a few other individuals who were running Music Africa at the time. They did an amazing job to bring the organization. I can remember at times it felt as if there was nobody around to help Michael Stoll, and he was the only one behind Music Africa. Michael Stoll is South African, but he's white South African. And it's interesting because from what I've been hearing, some of our community, when they hear Music Africa or Afrofest is being put together or run by a Caucasian, it doesn't sound well with them. and just because of that, they kind of held back. So if you take a picture, if you look at a picture of Afrofest in 2010, and look at the same Afrofest in 2019, the audience has shifted. So you have a whole lot more younger people who are trying to understand more about Africa, and who are encouraged to come by because the outlook of the organization has changed. It is now being led by Africans, by black folk, and I think they identify more with the organization. Now, this is not to say that we don't agree that anybody can lead an organization, or that the people who led it before had any issues. It is just an observation that some audience members identify more with black folk leading black organizations, and therefore gravitated towards the organization just by virtue of this fact.
Good stuff, Ryan.
Love that. Well, yes, because the audience is going to change, since Dr. Vibe and I will be there. We'll be able to be in these pictures. And so you're saying today is the online, and then over the weekend, it'll be hybrid?
Yes, over the weekend, we're going to have the drive-in edition. And basically what's going to happen is you come in, you drive in with your car. You can have as many as there are working seatbelts in the car, you can have people. So if you have a car with five working seatbelts, you can bring in 5 people. But please don't come in a school bus. Don't say my school bus.
Why do I feel you should have said that?
Charge them for a seat.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen now. I can see the school bus coming in, and I would love a video to see your face when you see that school bus.
Like, why do you do this to me? You know what I mean?
No, you mentioned it. I didn't do anything. You mentioned it. That's good.
Yeah.
Oh God, there's a good we have comment here. Wendy, morning. Love to see this conversation. The vibes have me ready to pull up to the drive-in. Stat. I see you, DJ Shaq T. All right. That's Wendy from Convo Media. And just a big plug for Convo Media. If you're looking for any media help, Convo Media is the place to go. Peter, wow. We could keep you for longer, but I think you got work to do, don't you?
A lot of work.
No problem. Go ahead, Ryan.
One last question. So now, if you're in an elevator with somebody that's never been to Afrofest, what is it that you tell them to get them to go and see it for the first time?
Well, it's simple. It's the easiest way to go to Africa without buying a ticket.
Yo, Christopher Lawrence, hashtag that. Hashtag that.
That's a tagline.
True.
There's your tagline.
Is that the official tagline? Because it should be.
No, here's the tagline. You know what? I just want to put it up here too for people. If you want to, this is what the website looks like. We're going to pull it up right now. There's the website.
Excellent.
So if you go to afrofest.ca, that is the top part of the website. And if you scroll down, how you can buy tickets, everything afrofest.ca is there. And you know what? You need to use that tagline. You know why? Because Sherry Jones is saying that was fire. And she knows about branding.
Yes.
So it's not. So you got 3 people here are saying you got to keep that.
Okay.
100%.
You got for your tagline. Like I would, as soon as possible, I'd even do it on your website now. Or just you got to start saying that. Bang, 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 bang.
And
I love that.
Now that you said it, I'm actually going to take it. I'm going to take it a step further. I'm going to make sure that when you see Afrofest, below it is going to be the easiest way to go to Africa without buying a ticket.
I really think that's brilliant.
I love it.
Yeah, and okay, and Ms. Jones is saying you must, in capital letters, MUST. You must use that going forward. It's perfect. So if you don't use it, not only am I going to be on your case, Ryan, the king of but you don't want to get Sherry Jones on your back.
Right? Yes.
I've never been on her bad side, so that's why you don't want to get on your bad side.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you very
All
much.
right. So before we let you go, we're just going to put up information again. There's afrofest.ca. There's the website we showed you. If you're watching this live on replay, you saw the front page of the website. Go check it out. If you want to get more information also, there's the handles on Instagram, YouTube, Afrofest Toronto, Facebook. Peter, thank you so much.
Much appreciated.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
And get ready for the bus.
Yeah. I'll be ready. I'll be ready. I'll be ready.
Look, you know what? And Cher says, I'm out for a walk, and I literally stopped to type. So you see more pressure on you now.
Yes.
Like she's on a walk, and she said, bam, like you
hit it, man. You hit it. You nailed it on the head. I love it.
Okay. I'm glad. It gives me a bit more work and more thinking, but I'll get on it for sure.
Hey, give it to a busy man, right?
Yes.
But the nice thing too is you said about the whole aspect of community. This is community in action.
Agreed.
Exactly. And I'm appreciative of it.
All right. Stay safe. We'll catch you soon. And we're speaking. You're going to have a great next few days.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys having me here today.
My pleasure.
Our pleasure. Yes.
All right, folks. That was good. Like we got heavy hitters on today. Cher Jones, Roger Dundas, Wendy Vincent, and like we created a brand.
Christopher, yes.
Christopher, we in real time we created a brand tagline.
Hey, that should be a show that you and Cher Jones do together. Bring on brands and get some brainstorming.
I am up. I am waiting. And Cher saying, make sure you say plane ticket. You see.
I was thinking that too, because you want them to buy a ticket to the show. A plane ticket, yes.
So we're even offering free branding advice. Look at this. Look at this.
I love it.
I'm telling you. So what's on? So obviously you're going to Afrofest?
Yes. I'm gonna tune in, get my ticket. So we'll do the online today, drive through. On the Sunday, I have the full Sunday off, but I'm looking forward to that. First time ever. So
wonderful. And happy belated birthday to the
Jazzy Bear. Yes, my daughter Jasmine's birthday was yesterday. So today is going to be another full day of family time. And then on the weekend, we'll add Afrofest to the festivities.
Wow. So you got a full plate. So weekend is Afrofest, birthday celebrations, anything else? You gonna stay away from business?
Saturday, I gotta do some debriefing just for myself and plan for this meeting that I've been talking about on July 28th. And I will let the secret out because for those that watch our show, I feel like you are special and I appreciate it. The reason that I want people to rally around this grant is because the proposal has already been approved. So the proposal that we wrote before.
So are you teasing me?
So this is why it's so important. And I only let it slip here. So if you don't show up to this meeting, I'm telling you what we submitted already for a different program was approved. And it's the same program being expanded. So we have the blueprint, show up. Get the bag. No. Secure
the bag.
Secure it. The bag. Yes. And it can only be done collaboratively. This is a big deal. So I'm looking forward to seeing everybody part of that.
Again, all roads lead to Ryan Knight. The
road should lead to our own community. I'm telling you, our own city is coming soon. Our own town, country, whatever you want to call it. I feel like New Brampton, we'll call it New Brampton just to...
Sorry, no, I ain't going west of Yonge Street. Sorry, I don't need my...
No, but it's not in Brampton. It's actually closer to you where we might be building. So, yes. That's another secret.
Okay, all right. So, man,
I'm not ready for that presentation yet. It's coming soon, though.
You have a big passport now to come to Yonge Street. All right.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Okay. Roger Dundas, if you're watching, you see he's coming out east.
Yes.
Watch out. So
what's on your game plan for this weekend?
You know what's interesting? Not too much. Hopefully I can make it to Afrofest. Of course, got Black Canada talking on Sunday afternoon have a lady who is does empowerment of women and girls.
Excellent.
So looking forward to that. And I've been asked by an organization now to do some bi-weekly mentorship of business owners.
Okay.
So, and I'm getting paid for it, which is good. And then won't get into too deep, but I had the opportunity this week to present a proposal to someone who was going to present it to an organization. And I had the proposal, it was only about 50-60% done. The person said, that's fantastic. This is incredible. I'll see if I'm going to, now it's my job to get you money. So
excellent.
So
are the classes working from Mario? I'm feeling like you're making progress.
Well, for those Mario he did his second intake for his sponsorship class ends today, and he did a webinar yesterday, and he included me again.
Yes.
Not live this time, but he included me comments wise and on his presentation. And I'm going to do a plug here for anyone who wants to get good knowledge about sponsorship. Either get in touch with me or go on the front page of my website, thedrvibeshow.com. And on the right-hand side, there's a little blurb there about Mary Armstrong's Get Sponsorship Money course. It's an incredible investment. It's progressed me, thought process much a lot. Actually, I was on an IG live with him earlier this week. He invited me on. We chopped it up for about 30 minutes. Nice. And it was really, really good. But folks, and actually share, if you are on here, we should get you on if you could. But sponsorship is a huge, huge component. People know I'm a little iffy about getting government money, but there is a lot of sponsorship money out there by companies. And think about it this way, folks. Surveys show that most companies now, since we're going into a next stage of a pandemic, are now releasing money that was pent up for the last year.
Excellent. Right.
And you don't have to have a large following to get sponsorship money.
Right. And for those that didn't realize, you spelled the drvibeshow.com, right?
I will put it up on my page right now. But so you don't have to have a large amount of sponsorship influencers. There's a lot of reports now that companies are looking for micro influencers more than ever. See, look at this. Share. There's a lot of money up there. And folks, again, I'm mentioning Cher's name for a lot of reasons. She knows this space. She does a lot of corporate training. She's been doing it for a long time, so she knows the corporate environment very, very well. But especially now, a lot of companies are looking for micro influencers because the message travels faster through a micro influencers community than someone who has a huge bunch of followers. There are studies out there showing that recently they are looking to get micro influencers. Won't get too deeply into it, but the key thing that companies are looking for was what is your engagement rate? And the industry average is 1 to 3%.
Okay, right.
So if people want, I can maybe come on one day and and most people think they can't get advertising. If you just go and calculate your engagement rate, you're more than open to do advertising because the industry average is 1 to 3%. And I should be posting a little bit more on Instagram, but whenever I do, I'm averaging 6 to 7%.
You see, you got to be consistent and persistent.
Yes, so that's the thing. So engagement rate is really, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for engagement more than likes.
Gotcha.
Engagement more than likes. So people wanted me to Ryan wanted me to put my website on there really, really quick. And that isn't a 10 o'clock meeting because there's no tie-on with Robin today. So, all right. Yes. So we're just chopping up a little bit here. I don't want to keep people on, but there are some people still on here. But if you want, let me put up the banner here. Yeah. Oh, not T. There's no T at the end of there. Come on now. I need to edit that, and I don't know how to edit it. That's really good.
Okay, so visualize without the T. people.
Yeah, visualize it without the
you
T.
get it, the Dr.5show.com.
You know, let me edit it because I like to make corrections.
Perhaps the /T will take you to a special part of the website.
No, there you go. So there's the website. If you go on the website, there is a thing there on the right-hand side about Mary Armstrong's advertising. And if you want to know more about it, ask me. I went through the first intake, and it was absolutely amazing. Just the office hours where he's not doing it as much now, but 2 times a week we had access for him live for 2 hours, and you can ask anything you want. And he is a person that is, him and his wife Nicole have secured over $3 million worth of sponsorship money.
Right.
Sponsorship money over the last 5 years, so maybe from FedEx, companies of Capital One.
Right.
So they know how to secure the bag when it comes to sponsorship. And the nice thing about it too, Mary should be proud. I'm doing a promo for him. I got to send him this. Once you learn the process once, it just same thing over again. You just change up some things, and you learn everything from how to write an email to get that introductory meeting.
Right, foot in the door to close, right?
Yeah, just just the wording, and I use that wording not only for sponsorship stuff, but just to get in contact introductory wise to get a meeting. It works perfectly, not just for sponsorship stuff, but just if you want to get that business meeting, that first one, he shows you how to find out the right people to contact in an organization. And there's just so many different ways people can think about sponsorship. Sponsorship is not just an ad. You can read a sponsorship. You can get sponsorship of your posts.
Yes, and we should be finishing up our sponsorship media package for the Morning Vibe so that we can put that out and people can get mentioned on our show going forward.
Yes, well, there's a few organizations that have reached out to me now about, there's at least one organization that has reached out to me about potential sponsorship. And just want to put it here, you can catch replays of the Morning Vibe on the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and Facebook, and the Afro-Canadian Business Network on Facebook. So if you want to watch a replay, check the bottom of the screen. This is where you can catch it.
Yes.
So as always, again, thanks everyone for watching live on the replay. And as always, I like to say, live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get small to get stronger. Block assumptions, then aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. And remember to give yourselves grace. And we'll be back on Monday if we get through Afrofest. We'll be back on Monday. So look, have a great weekend and definitely stay safe. Be well, everyone. Bye.